Most founders think they have to find a good designer to come up with a great UI for their app. But that's so far from the truth. In fact, design is so easy that after watching this video, I'm sure you'll be able to make one. Sorry for offending any designers out there, but for me, design is simply placing some colorful shapes with some text on in the right place so that I, as a developer, have some kind of a visual guide when I'm coding. I focus on what matters the most, which is a smooth user experience, and I don't really care about all the psychological stuff behind it, the different colors you should use and all of that. I just make it look good. So I'm going to show you the entire process, the tools I use, the common mistakes you should avoid, and give you some advice on implementing your own design. Alright, so if you had any experience with coding, I bet you had an idea for an app and you jumped right into building it. I'm sure the UI that you came up with looks awful. At least mine definitely did, until I realized that 2 simple steps before building can save you from this mistake. So if you're a tech bro like me, just simply grab your iPad, or if you're old school, you can also use a pencil and a piece of paper and simply try to sketch a very simple layout of your app. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, no art skills required. Just simply draw some rectangles and name them, and this will guide you what your components should look like or where they should be placed. So this is how my sketch looked like for my new app called Scriptwriter. It's coming up in a month, I hope. And as you can see, it's very simple and it doesn't have to be anything advanced, and it will give you huge advantage in the other step, which is creating a mockup. Figma is my absolute favorite tool for this. I've been using it since it came out, and I really appreciate how simple it is. In under an hour, I think you'd be able to learn most of the features that you'll ever need. But before you actually begin design, I think you should get some inspiration. Your ideas might look awesome in your head, but when you transfer them onto the real world, they might not turn out so good. So I advise that you copy the best designers out there. Simply sign up to pages like Dribbble or Mobbin. These are my 2 favorite websites, and just try to copy a bit from this design, maybe a simple button from here, and maybe this font that somebody else used in another design. And by copying all that, your design will turn out to be unique. But even when you're copy-pasting, you can still make some mistakes. And now all the math designers are happy because we're talking about Figma, so let's make them even happier by mentioning all the common mistakes that you should avoid. First up, look at these 2 pages. Which one do you think looks better? You probably chose the left one, didn't you? Empty space may feel wrong at first, but it actually allows your content to stand out. Sometimes the padding might be good, but you're adding too much color, and that's a horrible mistake. If there is too much contrast between all the elements, that also makes the design unreadable. There is a cool rule called the 60-30-10 rule. You can look it up on the internet, and it basically means that there should be 60% of the main color, the primary one, 30% of the secondary one or the texture, and 10% of the accent. You can find palette generators online that work with this rule and simply copy the palette that you got into your own design. Now, this third mistake is so crucial it might even kill your sales. Have you ever visited a website on your phone and everything looked terrible? And I mean terrible. It was misaligned and the buttons were too small and you couldn't hit them right. That happened to me more than once. Now you might be thinking that, oh well, all my users are still going to be on a laptop or a PC, so I'm not going to care about designing everything for mobile or tablets. Well, the app might not be worth adjusting for tablets, but the landing page is definitely worth it. You see, most of the traffic to your web app will be the landing page, and it should look good on every single platform because somebody might sign up with a phone to later use it on their laptop. So please don't ever ignore mobile devices. I know it's a pain in the ass, but still, the most traffic comes through mobile. So adjust your sign-up process, your payment process to make it as frictionless as possible. because you'll be getting a lot of clients from there. So this is a guaranteed way to get better results. So now hopefully you placed all the circles, rectangles, text, buttons, icons, whatever in the right place, and now you're ready to code it. So here are some few tips about coding your design. Building a UI, even from a visual aid like a Figma mockup, is still going to take a long time. But what if I told you that you can simply copy and paste ready-made components? Well, that's called a UI library, and implementing that into your tech stack is a must. If you've been following my channel, you probably know I'm a huge fan of SvelteKit, and with that, I use Daisy UI as my component library. It's amazing that you can simply paste all the inputs, cards, carousels, buttons, even more advanced stuff like accordions or sliders. Everything there is included, and you can just copy and paste the code, and it just works. Your design should already look more polished and professional because the padding and text size is going to be consistent all throughout the app. So remember, the goal here is not to reinvent the wheel, but to work on what matters the most, which is making your app seamless. So now you're a design expert and you can fire all the designers you've hired and just focus on building your product. So if you want to know how to do that, I recommend that you watch this video right here, which is about the boilerplates that I use for my SaaS projects. So if you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.